if people have any doubt at all about the gravity of this, I recommend they think back to the Lusitania. The Lusitania was a British luxury liner, and I talk about it in my book, Harvey Wasserman's History of the U.S., which covers 1860 to 1920. And the American public really did not want the U.S. to go into World War I. It was very unpopular. Yeah. But in 1915, the Germans sank a luxury liner. It was a British ship going from the U.S. from New York to London. It was carrying all these passengers, including 120 Americans. And at the time, Britain and Germany were at war with each other. And one of the rules of war was that you were allowed to sink ships that were carrying weapons. And that was just basically a rule of the game. So the Germans sunk the Lusitania, and they claimed that it was full of weapons, and the British said there were no weapons. And 120 Americans died, and Woodrow Wilson seized on this as a big, thing for beating the Germans, and this tremendous racist outbreak came. Everybody hated the Germans except the German Americans, and the radical labor movement, which something smelled fishy to them, and they did not want, because they knew if we got into World War I that there would be tremendous repression and a great skewing of interest in the issues at home, which were economic democracy and control of the factories and redistribution of wealth, as opposed to going into a war. So, but Wilson, of course, used this, and the people got into the preparedness movement and started building weapons. And then in 1916, Wilson ran as a peace candidate. In 1917, he got us into the war.
Sounds like LBJ, doesn't
it? Yeah. And it was all based. A lot of it was based on the emotional response to the 120 Americans who died in the Lusitania. Well, earlier this decade, with all the advances in undersea technology, guess what happened? A submarine, a deep-sea submarine, got down to the Lusitania. Guess what they found on the Lusitania? Tons of weapons that were actually being shipped from the U.S. to Great Britain. The United States got involved in World War I on the basis of a complete lie, and it's indisputable. So, when people ever say, well, I had one news person actually say that she just couldn't believe that people would be so cynical as to arrange a deal to keep hostages in Iran longer so that they could win an election. Well, it's happened. It's happened before.